Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first episode of the 8-Bit Monologue. This is a brand new podcast that I'm starting. It's going to be a fun time. I'm going to have a very good time with recording it and all that fun jazz. I'm going to be mainly focusing on video games. It's going to be a bit more laid back than my normal, the normal show. I don't want to have to, go too crazy in depth and, make it so scripted, and that's obviously why I'm doing a podcast. It's more freeform. Like, a lot of my videos are either half scripted or full scripted. I think the Mario Galaxy video was half scripted, where I talked about a few things but did some bullet points so I kind of keep on track. But then the Skyrim video I think was fully scripted, and of course I go off on tangents. But no, there's a lot of videos that I make that aren't exactly they're not free form like this. The only videos that really are free form are the Minecraft videos that are up right now. But I wanted to talk about, because this has been on my mind right now, Super Mario World has been on my mind because I just made that video about it and I just played through it again, just to get the footage and to just to generally enjoy the game again. And it's kind of put me back in that state of just god damn, I miss this game. I miss the games that I grew up with. And I really had no reason to make a video on Super Mario World. I just decided that it would be a good idea. Out of nowhere, really. I just wrote up the script in a few hours and then thought, hey, this ain't bad. I'll make this into a thing. So that's kind of been my thing with Super Mario lately. And I didn't really get to talk about Mario in general, and I really haven't had a chance to. So a podcast is the best way to do that. It's a good way for me to talk about many, many things in general. Because, I really just want to keep it gaming focused. I'm going to have guests on here as well, whether it be via a Discord call or in person, depending on who it is. It'll be a pretty fun time. I'm hoping to do this for right now, maybe every other week or every week, once a week kind of deal. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm kind of just testing the waters as it is right now. I'm looking to buy myself an N64 here pretty soon, because I had one for a bit which had Super Mario 64 on it, and I miss it. I sold it like an idiot. I sold it for I think $70, which was dumb because it was great and I shouldn't have. Playing Mario 64 on the original hardware is so great. You guys have no idea. I play it on an emulator with a controller via Steam, actually, because I go through Steam, because I find that setting up controllers through Steam is a lot easier than having to set up a controller by going through, whatever other thing that they have in the emulator itself. It's usually not that fun. However, it's easier, but I understand going through the actual thing might be better in some ways, because you don't have to have Steam running in the background at the same time, but whatever. It doesn't really matter to me that much. As long as I get to play the games, I enjoy it. Plus, Project 64 puts it out at 1080p automatically, which is really weird playing The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time at a game that is very obviously not supposed to be in 1080p at 1080p. It does not look very good. Honestly, what I do is I usually down the resolution down to 720 at the most, and then I could go lower if I want to. It's to be at the least if I'm talking about lowering it. But no, it's usually what I do if I have games that aren't from the current generation. I don't like seeing them in high definition, because that's when you really understand how shitty it looks. Mario 64 is still a great game, no matter what. Although playing with a mouse and keyboard was just not great. It was weird. It did not feel good at all. It just felt awful, because you can only run in 8 directions and you can't really make that emulated controller. But you could try, and I tried for a long time. I tried. No, playing on the original hardware is the best way to do it, or through a virtual console. If they released Mario 64 on the Switch with just a Switch Pro controller, it'd be great. It'd be great. They could do that with all N64 games, and if they gave it a freeform camera, it would probably be. You know what? No, they should leave the camera the way it is. The camera isn't great, but they should just leave it the way it is and use the D-pad, as the camera controls, which I understand isn't very functionally good. It isn't a great idea, because the N64 is a very unique controller, and the buttons, it's just weird because you'd have to take your hand off the movement to move the camera, whereas with the N64 version you wouldn't have to do that. That's weird. That's a weird thing. You'd almost have to design a new controller to fit more modern day, to with the one control stick and then the A and the B button, but make it with 2 prongs instead of 3, and make it a normal analog. That is a controller. That whatever that third party N64 controller that has the one stick and it's modernized, and then that just needs to be a thing, and you don't have to hold it in weird, awkward fucking ways. The N64 controller, for as innovative as it was also really shitty. Like, you compare it to, like, the Super Nintendo controller, which is a phenomenal controller, and it's just like, sure, you know what, analog sticks are cool, but, like, I like the compactness and the perfection that is the Super Nintendo controller. It is amazing. Part of me wishes that I would have gotten the the SF30 Pro. I had the SN30 Pro. I talked about that in the Super Mario World video. It's a Switch. Well, it's an anything controller. Really, I can hook it up to anything. I've used it on my computer, play PS2 games on there with it because it's the best controller for it. I think. I do lots of things with it. It's a great controller, but part of me wishes I had the SF version because then it's got the colored buttons. But then to me, it's just like, okay, the purple is like fucking nostalgic though, because I had a SNES growing up as a kid, so it was just an obvious choice. And I don't think they actually make. I don't know if they actually make the SN30 Pro anymore. I can look it up real quick, but it's a fantastic controller. I know they make like other off-brand stuff like that's not quite the same. Sorry to hear me typing. But I know that like I think they've stopped making like the ones that look exactly like Nintendo controllers. Let's see your products. Let's go here. Yeah, they have. You can't buy a new version of like the oh well, that one kind of looks like it, but it's not quite. That's the thing, man. That's the thing. I'm looking at a few right now that are like almost perfect replicas of like a Super Nintendo controller, but they aren't quite perfect. I think that's probably because Nintendo probably came down on them and said, no, 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 these look too close to our controllers. You can't do that. Like, I get that, I understand it's Nintendo's property. They probably don't want other people making stuff that looks too close to theirs. Holy shit, this thing works with a Raspberry Pi? Holy fuck, that's insane. I can't believe it works with a Raspberry Pi of all things. That's crazy. That's insane. They had the Switch logo wrong. So this is a really good controller. The 8-Bit Do makes some fantastic like products. Just looking at them here right now, they are phenomenal. They're really cool. I mean, they make everything from like itty bitty tiny little controllers. Why does that one have 2 D-pads? What is going on? That controller has 2 D-pads. What in the fuck? Why would you need 2 D-pads? What do you need that for? I'm so confused. And what? Huh? That's a weird controller. This is a weird fucked up shit. Anyway, no, but like. They do lots and lots of cool stuff. Oh, they have wired controllers now? That's pretty cool. Good for them. That must be cheaper. But if you ever want to get a good third-party controller for like anything, 8-Bit Do, guys. I promise. They make some great shit. I think there's a 30 Pro and there's a 30 Pro Plus, which they come in a variety of styles. And they're all pretty cool if you ask me. The best looking one of these controllers is probably like the Super Nintendo version because it's a fucking Super Nintendo. It's amazing. It comes in like an all black version and then this other weird one that's like not quite. Oh, it's like a Game Boy. That's what that's like. Cool. That's pretty dope. Man, I love shit like this. Cool shit. So if you guys are fans of like retro gaming and you like retro style controllers and shit, I definitely recommend 8-Bit Do. They're fucking fantastic. I use it for my Switch. I'm not sponsored. I'm too small to be sponsored. Although, if I was, I'd totally be happy for it. I use it for my Switch. I use it for my computer. That's about it, because I don't have anything else. It's a pretty awesome little thing. Anyway, moving on beyond that. In that video about Mario, I talked about Mario 3 quite a bit. I'm going to do a video on that game in particular, but I wanted to address a couple of things that I might have mentioned in that video. Mainly being that I made a comment about the worlds not being like all connected, which I kind of made it sound like that was a bad thing, and I don't want to give off that connotation because, or was it denotation? No, it's connotation. I think I also said in that same video that I don't think it was bad, but I do like it. I want to make that very clear. I do enjoy the different themes of each world in Mario 3. Now, what I don't like, but I understand that it has to be this way, is that each world is disconnected and that you can't travel between them and replay levels. That is like my biggest gripe with Mario 3, and really when that's your biggest gripe, you're doing pretty well. That's not a bad thing to be like, if it was like, oh, when I hit the left arrow, Mario moves right, that would be like a big fucking problem, in which case your game is like actually bad. Man, RC Cola, cheap. I'm like, RC Cola is really good. I see people put RC Cola down on the fucking ground. It's not bad at all. It's got a really cool can design. They came out with like a modern like light blue RC Cola can, and it fucked with me because like this is not my RC Cola. This isn't my RC. RC has always been like a really cool like royal design, real fancy looking, But no, I just would go back to Mario 3 here. There is something special about Super Mario Bros. 3. Like, there's something really cool about the game. I want to talk more in depth about it when I get to that video. But I will talk about other Mario games that I will never make videos on. Probably games like Super Mario 3D Land. I'll probably never make a video on it, just because it's such a basic Mario game, and there's not that much to say. I know that people would be like, "Oh, it's the first handheld 3D Mario game." You know, oh, when I say 3D, I mean like actually like 3D goggles 3D. I know Super Mario 64 DS exists. I'm not stupid, but like it's not. Other than the fact that it's like in 3D, there's not a whole lot special about it. It's a linear course clear 3D Mario game. It doesn't really interest me at all. 3D Land's not a great game. It's not bad. You know, there's no Mario game that is like bad. It's just not one that I particularly would choose to play on any given like day. Like someone says, "Holy shit, you have 3D Land? Dude, let's play it." No, I'd rather not. I have it, and I do play it in like car rides when I have nothing else. Like if I happen to pop 3D Land it, and then it's just like, "Oh, we gotta go. So gotta go this place." It's like, all right, so I'll just fucking play 3D Land. I already left it in the fucking DS. But if I have other options, I'd probably just choose something like, even New Super Mario Bros. 2 is a better option, to be honest. That game's actually like entertaining, at least. It's got the fun thing of coins. People give that game shit too, but I have a soft spot for the New Super series. Down the line, I want to make a video on New Super Mario Bros. U, because people give that game in particular a lot of shit. Like, people shit on that game a lot. I played through it for the first time on the deluxe version on the Switch, and I like it. I think it's a pretty good game. I don't think it's perfect, but I really do like it. It's not very innovative, but it is pretty cool. It's a good game. It does some things right that nobody seems to really talk about. People seem to like mainly dog on the theme, and it's just like, yeah, but it's a new Super Mario Bros. Game. It's supposed to kind of look like that. You know, that's kind of what people expect. But, you know, other than, like, the 2D Mario games that I've grown up with, which is arguably what I've grown up with more is 2D Mario, Galaxy games are the only games that I really, like, got into. I've talked about Super Mario Galaxy before in depth. But, like, I'm going to say something here that, like, probably would piss people off to a certain extent. I don't like Mario Odyssey that much. I'm not the biggest fan of it. It's not bad. You know, it's not really bad. It's objectively speaking, it's a good game, but there's things about it that piss me off. There are things about it that devalue the game. For a comparison, between like my love for Mario and Zelda, Breath of the Wild I have 600 hours in. Mario Odyssey I have 50. There's quite a big gap there, and I grew up with Mario more. You know, I grew up playing the Super Nintendo, playing Mario World. I had my aunt's NES. I played Flash games online, like Super Mario Flash, dude. Don't even get me fucking started on that shit. That shit was great. And, you know, when you come to this game and you were never really, like, used to collectathons, it's not bad. Your first run through the game was pretty fun. I enjoyed it. I had a great time on my first playthrough of the game. Fantastic. Hopping around, having a good time. Beat Bowser. There was, like, more moons. Sweet, there's more to do. And then, like, after I got to about, like, 600 moons, I just kind of, like, sat there for a minute and thought to myself, I'm, like, genuinely not having a good time. And I'm, like, I'm not just saying that. Like, I'm not having a good time anymore. And it's true. After a certain point, you just stop having fun because moons become so devalued. You know, there's no point in getting them. It's not a fun game to 100%. I think what Nintendo was going for was a game that you'll always find something to do in, but it fails because the world isn't that interactive. It's not a game like Breath of the Wild where almost everything, you can interact with, you know? Even if you're just slicing up some grass, you're bound to find some hair, some bugs, you know, and you can use those bugs for something. In this game, you might find some coins to, you know, and to buy some clothes, or you can't even do anything with the objects you touch. It's not crazy in depth. But it tries to be. And the biggest reward in the game, it's a power moon, right? So when you defeat a big boss, you get like 3 power moons. And okay, cool. But you could just as easily get 3 power moons from like fucking sitting by a dude on a bench, putting a plant, you know, a seed in a plant pot, you know, just stupid shit. You get 3 moons from doing stupid shit, for doing nothing basically. Climbing to the top of a tower, have a moon. Not very difficult to have a moon. It's everywhere. It takes the value of the big moons down like a fuck ton. It just completely destroys the value of them. And when you have the same reward set up between big boss fights and, stupid little shit, like spelling out the word Mario in the park at New Donk City, you destroy any sense of accomplishment at all. You just completely destroy the feeling of, whoa, wow, cool, I got the big moon. And rather it becomes like a feeling of, oh, yay, another fucking moon. Dope. And I can't get behind that because it doesn't have the same grand feeling as, say, Mario Galaxy, where every star feels important. And the grand stars feel even more so because they definitely hype them up and they present them in a bigger and a better way. It fails to reach the expectation of being a truly, like, sandbox experience that you can keep coming back to. Because I can't come back to it that often. I get very bored. I might go back to it and start a new playthrough all the way over from the beginning, but, like, it's not worth it. Because I've already done it over and over and over again, Like, I feel like there's not going to be too much different if I just do it again. Because once you set up a pattern for yourself, it's hard to break that pattern. Once you find like that list of moons that you enjoy, it's hard to just not, go on that same fucking path. And that's the big problem that Mario Odyssey has, is that I don't see a reason to deviate from the path that I've already set myself on. And maybe that's a me thing, but the game doesn't incentivize me to really do more shit other than getting moons, which is completely fucking worthless. So what the fuck's the point, In terms of like level design though, Mario Odyssey is great. It's fantastic. It's really cool. I love the kingdoms. They're all really amazing. And even though it's not like one big connected world like Breath of the Wild, that's a good thing, to be honest. If it was, if can you imagine if Mario Odyssey was an open world game? That'd be fucking weird. I wonder how they'd set that up. That'd be quite the task to set up. I'd like to see them do that. Not Shiverburn. God, I don't remember the names of the kingdoms. Isn't that fucking weird? I don't remember the name of the desert kingdom. What is the name of the desert kingdom? Fuck, I don't remember. It's some weird thing. I do like the mingling of cultures and shit, throughout several of the kingdoms is really cool. Or like how everything has its own little twist. Like the desert kingdom, again, it's a desert, but then it's frozen over with ice. Or like the forest has like a bunch of like industry and robots and stuff everywhere. It's a really cool thing. The cooking one is just cooking one. That's all it is. But it's still weird and unique enough that it's cool in its own way. I find that, I don't have too much fun playing the game anymore, but I did when I first got it. And that can be said for like a lot of the Switch games I have were fun when I first got them, but now I have like no reason to pick them up. I feel no like desire. Like I probably will never play Hyrule Warriors again, ever. I probably will never do it. I never even beat it. I just got like a few stages in, got fucking bored. I just bought it because it was, hey, another game, and it's got Zelda on the front and Link and the words and big bad guys. It doesn't appeal to me anymore. It's not like a very fun game. I have Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. That was a mistake of a purchase. I don't know why I bought that. Because I played through like the first 2 chapters and then got really fucking bored, as you do. And just there's a lot of Mario games in particular that I don't play. Like Mario and Rabbids, it's a different Mario game. That game, actually, I could probably pick up Mario and Rabbids and play it again. That was a pretty dope game. I enjoyed that. That was cool. That was fun. Ubisoft, Jesus, did a great job with that. Oh my God, speaking of Ubisoft, Jesus Christ. I saw it, and I was like, that's a game from my childhood. I guess I'll pay for it and download it and play through it. So I bought Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered for the Switch, and it runs all right. It's not terrible. I didn't have really any frame drops that I could notice. I also wasn't looking for them, so take that with a grain of salt. But like playing through this game as a 12-year-old, I never really noticed the like shittiness of it. There's a few plot holes in there that really don't make much sense, or like just plot things that don't really add up. Like the fact that George Washington was the one that like set the attack on Connor's, family, but then Connor does like nothing about it other than like get pissed for a bit. It's like who the fuck, what? Like Connor, you'd be absolutely livid knowing that this motherfucker is the reason your mom's dead. Like that's the whole reason you went after Charles Lee, is because you thought Lee did it. Like, what in the fuck, dude? It doesn't make any fucking sense. But beyond that, like, beyond the story, it's just clunky. The game is clunky. Movement is clunky. Combat, clunky. Climbing, okay, a little less clunky, but still clunky. It's not a good game, And I have no desire to 100% the story. Zero, zilch, none. I got through the story and went, all right, that was it. I did get, for the most part, I think I did pretty good in the synchronization of things. I didn't get all the missions 100%, but I got, a good majority of them, fully synchronized. But some of those things are just fucking ridiculous. Some of the shit they want you to do is just completely insane. One in particular is the one where you gotta kill, you gotta kill the one guy who's trying to set up a meeting between, the natives and himself, where he's gonna basically tell them to buy the land or he kills them. And they want you to, kill him without opening conflict. And, kill him before any of the Native Americans die either. So it's just okay, so I have to kill this dude before he kills anybody else, and I can't start conflict. I can't be detected. Sorry, that was the one. I couldn't be detected. How? I got on the roof, jumped off the roof to assassinate him, and you want to know what happened? I got detected before I jumped off the roof, and then I tried it again. What happens? He kills somebody, and it's just how the fuck? I can't shoot him with a bow. I'll get detected. I have to go up to him and assassinate him. It doesn't work. It just doesn't make fucking sense. I don't understand it at all. And that's just one of those things in the game it pisses me off, because there were several times where I would redo a mission over and over and over again just to try to reach full synchronization. There was a few times where I'd actually do it. There were other times where I just said, this is fucking ridiculous. This is dumb. And the naval missions in Assassin's Creed 3, there's a reason why they kept going with it in Assassin's Creed 4. It is a pretty fun concept. I like it. But Assassin's Creed 4 obviously does it better with the depth of the missions and the depth of what you can do. Assassin's Creed 3 really only lets you just shoot boats and shit like that. That's really all they let you do. And as far as I've played it, there's no real way to upgrade your ship. I could be missing something, and if I am, someone can tell me in the comment section if you're actually listening this far in. But no, the game overall isn't the worst game I've ever played, but it's not great, and it's understandable as to why people dislike this game compared to the previous ones. You went from Revelations to this shit. How did you do that? It just blows my mind. And Brotherhood was by far one of the best ones. Brotherhood and 2 are probably, everyone looks at those games and goes, oh, those are the best two ones. Those are it. I can't name a single person who thinks that Assassin's Creed 3 is great. Oh, you know what? People really like Black Flag. Black Flag might be the number one, along with 2. I enjoyed Brotherhood, but I don't think I liked it as much as I liked 2. Just because 2 was it was iconic, It was the game that, thrusted Assassin's Creed into popularity. 2 was the one that did it, 1 was pretty popular, I know that. My dad had Assassin's Creed 1. And we bought the second because he liked the first one so much. And then after the second one, he stopped playing. I think he just thought it got too complicated for him. But he really liked that it was the first one. I mean, he really liked that it was set in the Crusades, which is a pretty fucking unique setting, And then the second one's in the Italian Renaissance, and it's just what? Italian Renaissance? Who? Why? What? And I remember my father 100%ed Assassin's Creed, He went through the whole damn game. And it's just holy shit, dude. Fuck. I never liked the first one that much. It's not terrible. It's just not nearly as good as 2. Not nearly as good. Not even fucking close, to be honest. Brotherhood's pretty great, though. If you haven't played any of the Assassin's Creed games. If there's any Assassin's Creed game that I can recommend for anybody before I go off of this topic. 2, Black Flag, and maybe the first after you've done 2, or you might want to do the first before 2, but you really don't need to do the first to understand the plot of 2. You only really need to do the first to understand more of what Desmond's talking about in the intro. And to be honest, nobody fucking cares about the whole Desmond story, and nobody cares about the modern day shit. Everyone just wants to go to the past and call it good, which I think Ubisoft knows this. I think they understand that. But when the game forcibly kicks you out of the Animus to do something else, like it did in Assassin's Creed 3, I fucking hate it. It's just let me stay in there, motherfuckers, please. And some of the weird things that Assassin's Creed does is it jumps time pretty quickly. It jumps forward in time, and then it makes it kind of feel like the progression of the game isn't entirely there. Because you have Connor. I was thinking about my most recent completion of any Assassin's Creed game is 3. And there are times where it's like, oh, this is like 6 months later all of a sudden. And it's just like, wait, you're fully trained now? I didn't get to see any of that training. It just happened, and shit just happens like that. And it sets up some like points where it's like, okay, what was Connor doing between the time that I wasn't controlling him? Like, why don't we get to like witness this whole story unfold, from start to finish? It's just weird. It doesn't really add up all the time, but not a terrible game. Assassin's Creed has been a pretty mixed bag of good and bad over the years. Unity, everyone remember that game? That was great. No, but like when I think of like games from my childhood, it's so fucking. There's so many good ones. I know. I'm trying to think back. I can remember. It was one of them fucking puzzle games on the PS2. Oh shit. I remember. It was really cool. You'd shoot little bubbles up, the little dragon guys on the side. They were like cartoony dragons, real adorable little fuckers. But that game in particular, I spent so much time playing that game. I never got far in it, but I spent a lot of time doing it. And oh, dude, guys, I gotta talk about this a little bit. Like, while I'm talking about old games that I fucking love, Pac-Man World and Pac-Man World 2, and to a lesser extent, Pac-Man World 3. Mainly the first two. Pac-Man World games are fucking great. Honestly, they're some of the best fucking games I've ever played. If you've never played a Pac-Man World game, go get them, dude. They're so good. They should at least make a remix of them, remaster them, put them on all the new consoles. Could you imagine a fucking Pac-Man game with like ray tracing and shit? It'd be fucking weird. Ray tracing in a fucking Pac-Man game. That'd be funny shit. No, but I never got the chance to play these games as an adult because they're all on old hardware. I have a PS2, I just don't have Pac-Man World anymore. So it makes me kind of sad. So let's talk about what happened yesterday. Sunday. So I ended up trying to record the video of Super Mario World. And as you guys know, there's like that 3-minute section in there where there's just nothing happening on screen, but my audio keeps going. Yeah, well, the story behind that is I edited it Saturday night. And I got done. Wake up Sunday morning, it's all done, being exported and whatnot. And I go to watch it, and I noticed that 3-minute clip, and I'm like, oh, fuck, I gotta go back and, redo the whole thing from scrap. But I was like, you know what? I was having a really big pain in the ass of a time with my editing software. I'm gonna get a new one, just see how it works out. So I got a new one, and I go all the way through it. It was a free one. Just go ahead and download it, have a good time, edit the whole video, hit the export button, nothing happens. Hit it again, little hourglass shows up, then nothing happens. And I'm just like, okay, something's wrong. I go look up some tutorials and whatnot, and it turns out that this company let you download the application or the software. You could use it all you wanted, but then when you wanted to export the file off of the software, tough titties, you got to pay for it. And I could have. They had options in their menus for the playback, in which you could play it back at full resolution and full frames, Originally, I think they have it naturally set to like half and then 30 FPS when I recorded it in 1080-60. So I was like, no, fix that shit. And then I could have recorded over that with my screen recorder, but it was too late at that point. I had already gotten pissed and uninstalled the program. And that would have been like such a bigger hassle, because it wouldn't have looked as good, to be honest, because recording that over that would only have made it look bad. I know that my recording software doesn't quite do as good as it would just exporting the raw file over, making it look better that way. But you know what? It's whatever. I was pissed about it, and I look back at it now, and it's just like, all right, that kind of fucking sucks. So what I did as a solution to this, I just said, fuck it, I'm going to regress. So I went all the way back, ladies and gentlemen, to Windows Live Movie Maker. And I said, this is a shitty software, but I know how to use it, and I'm going to use it well. And so I did. I made it work. There's some text on screen, and now the screen just slowly gets more digital. And then after that section gets done, if anybody actually watched that, the screen just slowly gets more tilted as it goes on. I just kind of like whoop, slowly tilt. And I thought that was really funny. I want to see if anyone notices it, I think I put some text in there too, and then it stops after I had the text go away. But it was pretty good. I enjoyed doing that. My favorite part of that video, the Super Mario World video, is like the fucking live action bits where I had the controller out, and then the one where I was just like staring at the Wiimote in like complete wonder, just like, what the fuck is the B button for in Mario? I have no idea what it's for. I really have no fucking clue what the B button's for, and I could totally be missing something there. But in terms of like other games in the near future, one I do want to cover in the very near future is probably Super Mario All-Stars, and that one's going to be a little bit different in category because I'm going to have to cover the individual games because I can't go in depth on all of them because it's a collection of 4 games. But I have it on the Wii re-release, and I play it through my Wii U because, like, I don't know if I said this, my red Wii, which has the GameCube ports and all that good shit in it, it bit the dust with Super Mario Galaxy 2. Super Mario Galaxy 2 is just sitting on my red Wii now, and I'm very sad, and I need to rip that thing open and get it out, and then maybe see if I can find a way to fix it. But I miss Super Mario Galaxy 2. It's such a great game. But no, I played it on that, and it's great. I can't get footage for it. I'll have to find a version of it online. My computer just decided to turn off. Anyway, sorry about that. The computer just decided to turn off. That's going to be a fucking dumb-looking bitch of a line there later. I hate when that happens. Don't you hate it when that happens, ladies and gentlemen? When you're just sitting here recording a fucking thing in Audacity, and the computer's like, oh yeah, you haven't touched the screen in a while. I'll turn it off and then pause the recording. That was nice. Love that shit. No, anyway, back to Super Mario All-Stars. No, but I'd probably just find, like, I'll get, I could probably burn that. I could burn that disc in my computer. My laptop has a drive. I could do it. Oh, I think I have to buy something for that, though. I might have one. I might have one around here. I don't know. I have a lot of shit that just lays around, you know. But I might have to burn that disc and get Super Mario All-Stars on my computer. That's all right. That'd be pretty fun. That's a great game though. Playing on my Wii has been pretty miserable. I'm not gonna lie, because like the Wii D-pad's not very great. It's not terrible, but it's not very great. And then like you're also missing 2 buttons. So they are NES games, you know, originally. So you really don't need all 4 buttons. However, if I could, like, if Nintendo would just fucking put Super Mario All-Stars on the Nintendo Switch online Super Nintendo thing, I don't know what the hell that's called, but it would be fucking great because Super Mario All-Stars is fantastic. It is a great version of the original, you know, 4 Mario games. You know, 1, 2, Lost Levels, which is the real 2, and then 3. They're fantastic versions of it, and I would love to play it on the go. But I can't play it on the go. There's like no system that runs it other than like the Super Mario Advance series. The fucking Game Boy. Like, wow. I don't have a Game Boy. Or an original DS to play Game Boy games. Or an emulator for Game Boy games, actually, which would be pretty dope. I could get that, actually. I could get a DS emulator to run on my computer. I can get a Game Boy emulator to run. My DS emulator ran. My PS2 emulator runs on here. I can get it to work. I could get it if I really wanted to. Just know that, guys. No, but that would be so fucking cool. That's a fucking pain in the ass, though. It's whatever, you know, I think I'll live with it. But Super Mario All-Stars, so good. If you guys don't have Super Mario All-Stars, fucking get it. It's great. Great game. Great fucking set of games. I think my favorite to play was always the original Mario, and then the Lost Levels, because that particular art style was the art style for Super Mario Flash, the first one, which is a great game. Guys, go online and play Super Mario Flash before the end of this year, at the end of 2020, because Adobe Flash Player won't work with Google Chrome. So you have to use like Mozilla Firefox or, God forbid, Internet Explorer or Microsoft Edge. Which, okay, little tangent here. If Microsoft was trying to get away from the disaster that was Internet Explorer, why in the fuck did they make the emblem for Edge an E again? That was a stupid idea. Why would they call it Microsoft Edge? The E? Were they trying to be like familiar with it and make everyone go, oh yeah, it's like the one they had before? But when everyone thinks about the one they had before, they think, oh yeah, that one was shitty. Let's not use Edge. And nobody likes Edge. I don't think I've ever heard of anybody actually using Edge. I think Microsoft knows that they're like, their standard like software for browsing the internet is never used other than to just go download Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox. That's all it's ever used for. It's whatever. Anyway, back to Mario All-Stars. Like, one of my favorite things about Super Mario Flash, that game, you can make your own Mario levels. It was like Mario Maker, but for the internet. Like, wait a minute. No, I'm an idiot. Mario Maker is over the internet. I'm a dumbass. No, this was like before, the Wii U. This was during the Wii days, I do believe, that this was like kind of a thing. And Super Mario Flash 2 was in the style of Super Mario World, but Super Mario Flash 1 was in the style of the original two Mario games on the SNES, which was really dope. And I totally recommend that you guys go play that. One game that I've always wanted to play, and I wish Nintendo would fucking release it, was the 16-bit remake of the original Zelda for the SNES, the satellite thing that they had. You can find ROMs for it online. If you look around, I'm sure you could. But I would love to have that on the Switch, on their SNES thing, because it would be so fucking dope. It's a 16-bit remake of the original, which is the only time it's ever been remade. And granted, that's a hard game to, like, get into, but if Nintendo were to redo any 2D Zelda right now, they just did Link's Awakening, they would have to do the original. I would be upset if they didn't, because imagine taking the original, something that is so bare bones, and just, like, HDing the fuck out of it. And I would hope to God they don't put it in the same vein as Link's Awakening. Like, Link's Awakening art style on the Switch isn't bad. It kind of fits. Link's Awakening isn't exactly like a serious adventure. It doesn't feel as serious as, say, the original Zelda or Zelda 2. The original Zelda feels epic, in scope and spectacle, and when you get in, the music's epic, whereas, you get into Link's Awakening, and the music of, like, Mabe Village isn't very epic, You pop in the fucking Zelda cartridge, you blow on it a little, which you shouldn't actually do, stick that sucker in there, and you turn it on, struggle to get the NES to work a few times, and you finally get it to work, you're playing it, and the fucking title screen comes up, dope, the overworld theme comes on, and you just hear that fucking music, man. That is some of the best shit in the world. Zelda music is fantastic. It's better than Mario music, no doubt, unless we're talking like the Galaxy games, because those are pretty good. But Zelda music overall is pretty dope. The only thing I don't like is like a lot of the reoccurring music. It's never changed enough to be like musically satisfying again. I understand why, and I do enjoy the music, but I would enjoy it more if Nintendo were to make new tracks for the newer games. It's not terrible, I can live with it, but I think I would enjoy a nice change, Speaking of Zelda, holy God, dude, I am so fucking excited for Breath of the Wild 2. I know that Arlo, he posted a video talking about how it's going to be out in 2020, how he's pretty sure of it, but I'm not going to put my opinion on that. I would like to see it this year. That would be pretty dope. I would love to get into another Zelda game, especially one as big and as awesome as Breath of the Wild. Damn, what a great game. I could make a whole podcast episode dedicated to that. In fact, I might. But for right now, this has been a pretty good podcast episode. We've talked about Mario. We've talked about Assassin's Creed. That's a fucking thing. That's a weird combo of things. Mario and his best buddy, Connor, the assassin. That would be pretty dope. I would like to see that game. It's like Mario and Rabbids, but it's Mario and Assassins versus Templars at the Winter Olympic Games in 2022. I would enjoy that. So, before I end it off, I want to talk about a few things on the channel. Like I said before, weekly podcast, or every other week, depending on how I feel. Not entirely sure yet, but I'm thinking for the next video, it's probably going to be Mario 3, or I have a couple ideas. I want to make a video where I play Super Mario World, but if I die, video's over. Or I play Super Mario World, but if I get hit, video's over. Or if I collect a coin, video's over. It'd be really cool. I think it'd be a really, really fun, like, take on, just a fun game of Super Mario World. And I might even, like, extend this to other old original Mario games and shit, like Mario 3 or Mario 1. Dude, I should do it for the Lost Levels. That video would be so short. Oh my god, that'd be so great. That'd be so good. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. This is a pretty decent podcast. I assume that when I have guests on here, they'll probably be a little bit longer than half an hour. But when it's by myself, it's kind of difficult to just keep talking. I think I've taken like 3 drinks this entire podcast. I am cotton-mouthing like a bitch right now. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Could you imagine just stuffing cotton in your mouth? It'd be fucking gross. Anyway, don't die.